Good day. So for this video, we are going to discuss e-portfolio as an assessment. An e-portfolio is a digitized collection of artifacts including demonstrations, resources, and accomplishments that represent an individual, group, or institution. It can be a digital repository for a range of learning materials, including those produced for course-based assessment. E-portfolios are planned and compiled by the owner rather than by the educator. E-portfolio can provide ways for students to use feedback for assessment to support their learning. The ability to collect, reflect, and connect aligns with assessment as learning principles. So when to use e-portfolios? First, to enable students to reflect on their learning, performance, and their achievement in both formative and summative assessment. Second, to encourage independent learning. Third, to support students in planning their personal, educational, and career development. Fourth, as ways for students to present evidence of achieving program outcomes through artifacts that demonstrate transferable skills. Fifth, to support lifelong learning attributes by providing electronic learning records that students can take with them into employment. Last, in capstone course and programs that require professional accreditation.
Let's move on to the benefits of e-portfolios. The benefit of the e-portfolios is, just as their paper equivalents can, e-portfolios can transform and enhance curriculum and demonstrate to students and educators the connections between students' learning and assessment criteria. This can encourage and promote learning in higher education. E-portfolio also encourages a self-directed, individualized approach to learning that the students can use throughout their lives. As they develop the appropriate skills to regulate their own learning and become responsible for it beyond the walls of the classroom, they can engage both individually and collaboratively in the e-portfolio project. Educators can use e-portfolios in their assessment designed to develop personalized learning spaces or environments. The cognitive skills required for self-directed students in an e-portfolio are collect, select, reflect, and connect. These skills are inherently expected of any university graduate. You can assess e-portfolios both qualitatively and quantitatively. They are sound source of both kinds of information about students. In e-portfolios, students build themselves a resource that once assessment is complete, they can take with them into the workplace. E-portfolios act as a sustainable assessment that enables students to identify their learning, make judgments about it, and prepare themselves for future learning. E-portfolio also constitute ongoing, evidence-based assessment products that display a student's performance throughout the course or degree program. It also provides a site for feedback that can be acted on and saved for future use. Another is e-portfolio can encourage students to be self-directed and take responsibility for their own learning and assessment. Another, e-portfolio allows students to make connections between tacit knowledge and constructed knowledge. It also tracks students' accomplishments and feedback over a sustained period through ongoing assessment. E-portfolio also instills digital literacy skills by having students construct the portfolio in the educational context. These skills are transferable after graduation. So, e-portfolio also are beneficial for international students in that they can reduce the reliance on written word assessment. Another is e-portfolio can allow students to select their best work and make specific decisions about what they share with others. E-portfolio also can encourage students to own and direct their learnings as they select and reflect on their evidence of for presentation. ePortfolio can allow students to use or reuse a range of materials from a variety of sources, including those produced for course-based assessment.
Challenges learning how to reflect, collect, write, and respond to feedback for ePortfolios assessment requires. To use portfolios, you must be prepared to engage with your learners in meaningful individual and collaborative activities. To cultivate in-depth interactive cultures and to interrogate notions of authorship and audience before you adopt them in a course. Use 2008. Challenges for students. Students may resist the idea of e-portfolios because they anticipate a heavy workload. They may require support in further developing their technical skills as well as their critical skills such as selecting, collecting, and reflecting on materials. Students may need to be directed on the appropriate etiquette of the ePortfolio environment and space.
The following strategies are recommended for the successful integration of e-portfolios. Start small. Plan a slow implementation and explain everything clearly as you go. Integrate other electronic components into a course before you introduce the concept of a portfolio. Build towards a program-wide strategy, aiming for a new culture in assessment. Develop a strong resources plan for technical rollout. If possible, run a pilot project and spend time developing technical proficiency among the team. Align the e-portfolio with the course learning outcomes, clearly defining the purpose of the portfolio for students and staff. Make the e-portfolio a sustainable assessment tool. Use e-portfolios to track and gather resources for students from year 1 onward. Set up professional development and skills-based workshops. Support your team initially using face-to-face meetings. Prepare the evaluation so that you support e-portfolio enhancement, the exclusion of extraneous material and content improvements early, and continue the support throughout the course.